Pyramids. They are 4,500 years old. The Great Pyramid stood as the tallest structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. Nothing humans built beat it until the 19th century. Nothing. This is the last surviving wonder of the ancient world. There were 7. There is 1. And for decades, the experience of actually visiting it was a problem. Touts, camel handlers demanding money to let you back down. Buses idling in front of the Sphinx. You'd fly 10,000 miles to stand in front of a wonder of the world and spend the whole time saying no thank you to a man selling scarves. But here's the thing, almost no travel content has caught up with. The place is not what it was 18 months ago. Something enormous happened here, and it's changed the entire calculation. Plus, a $1 billion museum just opened next door. If you like travel breakdowns where nobody's taking a check from a tourism board, the subscribe button is right there. Let's talk about whether you should go. Let's start with what the pyramids used to be, because you need the before to understand the after. For over a century, the main entrance was the gate near the Manor House Hotel. Private cars, tour buses, horses, camels, vendors, tour brokers, all funneling through the same choke point. The complaints were consistent and international. Harassment, aggressive selling, alleged extortion. The classic story, you pay for a camel photo, then the handler won't help you down until you pay again. Meanwhile, buses were idling in the middle of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Then the Egyptian government did something dramatic. They handed the visitor experience to a private company, Orascom Pyramids Entertainment, on a 10-year concession. $51 million announced initially. That number keeps climbing. Change 1. The entrance moved. The main entrance is no longer at Manor House. It's a new visitor center on the Fayoum Highway, south of the plateau. Change 2. And this is the big one. Private vehicles are banned. No cars, no tour buses. A fleet of 45 electric buses runs a hop-on, hop-off loop, departing roughly every 5 minutes. They stop at the panorama viewpoint. That's the classic all 3 pyramids photo, plus Menkaure and Khafra. It's included, it's air-conditioned, and critically, it means you no longer have to negotiate with a camel handler just to cross the site. Change 3. The Touts got relocated. Horse and camel operators were moved into designated zones away from the main gate. They did not take it well. On the first day of the pilot, handlers blocked access roads in protest. The company's chairman said publicly that anyone refusing to relocate would be banned from the archaeological area. Change 4. Commerce got regulated. Street vendors were pushed into controlled retail space. Digital ticketing replaced the old cash chaos. There's now a proper welcome center with a film, narrated by Kevin Costner, which is a genuinely strange sentence to say out loud. Here's the honest assessment. This is not a cosmetic change. The single most cited complaint about visiting the pyramids has been directly, structurally addressed. Is it perfect? No. You will still get approached. There are still people who will try to sell you something you didn't ask for. Camel handlers still operate. The old tricks haven't vanished, but the volume has come down enormously. The chaos that defined this place for 50 years is measurably reduced. If you read a horror story about Giza written before 2025, that trip no longer exists. Now the other thing that happened. The Grand Egyptian Museum opened to the public on November 1st, 2025. It took roughly 2 decades to build and cost well over $1 billion. It's the largest archaeological museum on Earth dedicated to a single civilization. Over 100,000 artifacts. And here's the headline. The complete Tutankhamun collection, more than 5,000 pieces, is displayed together all at once for the first time in history. Khufu's solar boat has its own purpose-built hall, and from inside the galleries, you can look out the window at the actual pyramids. It draws roughly 15,000 visitors a day. Practical notes. Tickets are online only. Timed entry. There are no on-site sales. Standard foreign adult admission runs around $25 in 2026. Book it before you fly. Do not show up expecting to buy at the door because you can't. Coach groups arrive between 10:30 and noon. Your quiet window is 9 to 10:30, or come after 5 once the day groups have cleared out. Budget 3 to 4 hours minimum. People routinely underestimate this and regret it. And here's the strategic point that reframes the whole trip. The museum is climate controlled, and it's a mile from the pyramids. Pyramids at dawn. Museum during the brutal midday heat. That's the day. Let's talk money. Giza Plateau general admission for foreign visitors in 2026, around 700 Egyptian pounds. That's roughly 18 to 20 US dollars, depending on the exchange rate. Going inside the Great Pyramid is a separate ticket. That's a significant additional cost, reported around £1,500. And I need to be blunt about what you're buying. The inside of the Great Pyramid is a hot, steep, bare stone shaft. You climb bent over. The king's chamber at the top is an empty granite room. There are no treasures. There are no hieroglyphs. It was looted thousands of years ago. If you're claustrophobic or you have knee or back problems, skip it. Genuinely. If you're the kind of person who needs to have physically been inside the Great Pyramid, go. It's a real thing. But know what it is. Access is capped at roughly 300 people daily. Book ahead in peak season. Guided tours. A half-day group tour with hotel pickup and a guide runs $45 to $75 per person. A private tour with an actual Egyptologist runs $150 to $250. And here's my honest recommendation. Get a guide. Not because you can't navigate it, you can. But because a good Egyptologist turns a pile of rocks into 4,000 years of history. It's the highest return money you'll spend on this trip. Overall daily budget. Figure $120 to $180 a day per person for a comfortable trip. Accommodation, meals, tours, transport. Budget hotels start around $25 to $50 a night. Mid-range near the pyramids runs $80 to $150. Round-trip flights from major US cities, booked 2 or 3 months ahead, $700 to $1,200. And the big picture item, the Egyptian pound is weak. For anyone holding dollars, euros, or pounds sterling, Egypt is genuinely cheap right now. That's a real part of why Egypt is having a record year. 2 things will define your experience more than anything else. Crowds. Egypt is booming. Egypt hit roughly 19 million visitors in 2025, a record. The government is targeting 21 million for 2026, with a long-term goal of 30 million a year. 6.1 million people arrived in just the first 4 months of 2026. Also a record. Translation: the pyramids are not getting emptier, they're getting fuller, which makes timing the entire game. Be there at opening, not early, at opening. The plateau at 7 a.m. is a fundamentally different place than the plateau at 11 a.m. Coaches roll in mid-morning. Once they arrive, the experience degrades fast. Now the heat, and this is not a joke. Cairo summer daytime temperatures run 95 to 104 degrees. Peak days push past that. And there is no shade on the Giza plateau. None. It is a desert with rocks on it. The one mercy, it's a dry heat. Humidity sits around 20 to 30%. 100 degrees at 30% humidity is genuinely more survivable than 90 at 70. But you still cannot walk around out there at 2 p.m. in August. You will not enjoy it. You may not be safe. So when do you go? October through April is the window. Winter days run 60 to 70 degrees. That's perfect. But that's also peak tourist season. Book 10 to 14 weeks ahead. Spring, March to May, is a good shoulder. Watch for camps in sandstorms. September through November is the sweet spot. Cooling down, crowds recovering but not peaked. And the contrarian play, summer. Hotels drop 40 to 60%. Sites are near deserted. If you're disciplined enough to start at 6 in the morning and hide indoors from 11 to 4, you can absolutely do this. And now you have a world-class air-conditioned museum to hide in. That option didn't exist 2 years ago. Let's do the practical list. Camels. Agree on the total price in writing before you get on. The old trick is charging separately to get down. Settle both, up front. Free gifts are not free. Anyone who hands you something and calls it a gift will want money for it in 30 seconds. Let me take your photo. Same thing. They will want a tip. The single most effective tool here is a firm, polite, non-negotiable no. Do not engage. Do not stop walking. Don't be rude. Be immovable. Those are different things. Buy tickets through official channels, online, or at the official gate. Anyone selling you a special ticket outside the official system is selling you a problem. Bring water. Bring a hat. Bring real sunscreen. The plateau will punish anyone who treats this like a casual afternoon. Wear real shoes. It's sand and uneven rock. Sandals are a mistake. And know this one. The Sphinx gate on the east side has no ticket office. You can only enter there if you already bought online. Your ticket is single entry. You leave, you're out. Plan the whole visit before you go in. So, should you go? Here's my honest answer, and it's less complicated than it used to be. Yes. Go. Because here's the thing about the pyramids that no amount of chaos ever actually killed. You stand at the base and you look up, and the scale simply does not compute. These blocks are the size of cars. There are more than 2 million of them. Human beings did this 4,500 years ago, with copper tools and rope, and an organizational genius we still don't fully understand. The Sphinx was already ancient when Cleopatra was alive. Cleopatra lived closer in time to us than to the building of these pyramids. No tout can take that away from you. No crowd can dilute it. No heat can outweigh it. Almost everyone who goes reports the same thing. The moment it lands, everything else stops mattering. And now, for the first time in a very long time, the experience around it isn't actively fighting you. The buses are gone. The touts are corralled. The ticketing works. There's a real visitor center. And there's a billion-dollar museum next door that would justify the flight on its own. If you were ever going to go, this is the window. The infrastructure got fixed. The crowds haven't fully arrived yet. Egypt is cheap for foreign currency. That combination will not last. They're targeting 30 million visitors a year. So here's the plan. Go in the shoulder season. Be at the gate when it opens. Hire a real Egyptologist. Do the plateau in the morning and the Grand Egyptian Museum in the afternoon. Say no politely and keep walking. And then stand there and let it do what it has done to every single person who has stood there for 4,500 years. Too chaotic? Not anymore. And even when it was still worth it. If this saved you from booking an August midday tour with no water and sandals, do me one small favor. Hit subscribe. That's the whole ask. We do this for every destination on this channel. The postcard, and then the receipt. And nobody here takes a check from a tourism board. So tell me in the comments, did the pyramids land for you, or did the chaos win? Before you go check out some of the other great travel videos we have here on the channel. YouTube thinks you will like the ones popping up on your screen right now. Anyway, thanks for watching and see you in the next Should I Go video adventure.